Okay, so what attracted you to healthcare and biotech? How did
Yeah,
you make this leap? It had to be exciting, but also a little nerve
it
wracking.
was a little nerve-wracking. Yeah, so I was part of there was new leadership at the organization I was at, and they wanted their own leadership team. And so after 23 years in the coupon industry, my role was eliminated, and off I go to find out what's next for me. And so print media, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Chris, but print media has not been in a growth mode for a while. A big surprise.
Say it isn't so.
It is, I know, newspapers, print coupons, direct mail, all of that stuff been in decline. And so what I knew is that I felt like I was fighting that uphill battle constantly in print media. And I was done. I was over my time with print media. I wanted something different. And I live in the Detroit area. And so if there's one industry that is dominant in the Detroit area, it's automotive. And I was pretty confident I didn't want to go into the automotive industry. So here I was with 23 years of experience in an industry I did not want to pursue, living in an environment that is automotive predominant, and I didn't want to get into that. So as I sat back and said, okay, I know what I don't want to do. What do I want to do? And I knew I wanted something that I felt good about contributing to society as a whole. And I wanted something that was in growth. And in the time period that I was in my transition, Michigan had legalized recreational marijuana. And I became very interested in that because I'm like, well, if there's going to be a growth area, it's going to be marijuana in Michigan. Like that's a place to really start building some business. And so I started investigating, and I reached out to a network of people across the country who were already in the business of CBD production and how they do that, because the area of marijuana sales in the recreational side, I was interested in the testing side. How to regulate the industry is where my interest lied. And so I was talking to different organizations across the country, talking to the owners. What did they do? How did they get started? And what happened is my network on my social media started to shift from that coupon print to this research, cannabis, recreational. So my network started to shift, and based, all the algorithms, as my network shifted, those job opportunities shifted that were delivered to me. And what was delivered to me was this innovative research VP of operations role that I found interesting, that was in the biotech. It was a growth area. It wasn't automotive. It wasn't print media. This sounds interesting. And I pursued it. And to this day, I look back at that interview and I smile to myself, because if there was true authenticity in an interview, that was it, because I am not a scientist. I think I was waving my hands, and we all know I'm not a scientist as I'm sitting here in this room having this interview. I am business. I am not science. And it was a really great conversation. It was a long conversation, but it was a really great conversation. And ultimately, I ended up here. So that was the route. Marijuana was the route.
That'll be the nugget that we use to promote this whole thing.
Excellent. Excellent.